Hey. Hey.
お願いします。
お願いします。Hey, side to side. Hey, lift the shoulders. Circles one way. Circles the other way. Hey, arms. And back. That's right. The other side. Across. And the other side. Open and close. Nice, Rocky. And tight. Tenchi. Yoko. Hey. Kyu. Ko. Kyu. Ko. Thank you. Ko. Hey. Go. Fish. Forward. Down. Hey, your knees. circles. Great. Circles the other way. Down, up, down, up, down, up. Your toes. Down, up, down, up, down. Your hips. 7, 9, 10, and your knees. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And try. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Your legs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And your hips. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Sorry, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So open your legs and lower hips. Pushing your knees out. Open to one side. Lower hips again. And open to the other side. Hips down. And go in your toes. Raising your hips. And lowering again. Knees out. Pushing one side. The other side. Down. And hips up. Hey. Open your legs a little bit. And side to side. Side. Hey, and a bit lower on one side. And lower on the other side. One side, toes up. And the other side, toes up. One side, toes up. Knee down. Sitting. Chest out. And the other side. Toes up. Knee down. Sitting. Chest out. Open your legs, elbows down. Hey, coming forward. Relax, stretch. 4 again. Hips up. Hips down. Hips up. Hips down. Hips up. Hips down. And back. Okay, lying down on your back. And both legs extended. Bring one knee towards you, towards your chest. Change the other side, knee towards your chest. And extend both legs towards your chest. From that position, hold your toes, raise your legs, push your lower back to the ground, and take a few deep breaths. And let go. And this time bend one leg, cross your leg on top, crossing legs, hand between the gap, between the hole and the outside of the leg, and holding. And change to the other side, leg down, leg cross on top, between the hole and the outside, and holding. And let go, both knees down. Okay, stand raising your hip and curving your arms and stretching above your head. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, down. And again, raising your hips, curving your back, curving above your head. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, down. This time, grab your ankles, bring your legs closer to your heels closer to your bum as much as possible. Okay, and this time it's going to be a little bit on your tippy toes because you're very close. Raising your hips. Okay, and stretch above your head. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, down, and the other side. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, down, and walking out. And working out. Next, stretch your legs, hands on your head, raise your head, raise your legs, and goldfish. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, relax. One more time, head up, legs up. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, relax. One more time, head up, legs up. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax. You're going to turn around on your knees. So, and okay, so go to one side of your mat. Okay, so we do some gorilla walks. So from basic position, remember using your knuckles when your knees almost on the ground and jumping in as close to your hands as possible. Knuckles, knees almost on the ground, jumping in as soon as possible. Knuckles, knees close to the ground, in as close as possible. Again, these gorilla walks on both one way, the other way. So. remember the a little bit the difference between the gorilla walks and the rabbit walks. Okay, is that the rabbits have the hips really high. So the rabbits have the hips really high, and then a little bit similar, but the rabbits don't go as deep as the gorillas in terms of the hands, but the hips are also really high. The gorilla walks, try to keep your hips down, your head up. When you walk in, almost down, but just still try to keep your hips down. Careful that your hips don't kind of bunny. Don't kind of try to keep them as low as possible. Okay. In depending on your own context. Even like if you cannot go fully down. Okay. Even I was saying yesterday, just touching down, coming up, touching in, touching down, coming up, touching in, touching down, coming up. So you have to just keep working similar muscle groups. But try to keep those hips down, please. Okay. So one more time. We're gonna walk. You try to keep those hips down. Try to keep the hips down. 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 All right, next one, side kicks. Okay, so this time put your, again, a little bit in your squat position. Put your hands in front. You're going to open to one side and extend to that side. Coming down here, open to the other side and extend to the other side. Really important to first align your body, have a good support, keep your leg parallel to the ground, and your opposite arm moving backwards towards your body. One side, open to the other side, leg parallel, arm towards your shoulder. Open, leg parallel, open towards your shoulder. Engage your core muscles, pull your shoulder back, and coming back forward. Okay, so side kicks, please. Okay, and 1, hold, 3, 2, 1, change, 2, hold, 3, 2, 1, change, 3, hold, 3, 2, 1, change, 4, hold, 3, 2, 1, change, 5, hold, 3, 2, 1, change, 6, hold, 3, 2, 1, change, 7, hold, 3, 2, 1, change, 8, hold, 3, 2, 1, change, 9, hold, 3, 2, 1, change, 10, hold, 3, 2, 1, change, and rest. Okay, so that exercise, of course, is targeting your hips mobility, your core engagement, because you have to do a lot of it, and obviously the resistance on your own arms. So this time we're going to do the same thing, but instead of holding, we're just going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and so on. Talking with Elena, if you have problems with your wrist, I don't know if it's better, to basically, do in that position. Sometimes, and this is where the things get interesting, although a bit more challenging. Okay, these ones are possibly too big. But sometimes when you have equipment around, if your hands do not like being bent in that position because you have wrist problems, and sometimes putting your own fists don't feel quite solid. If you have something like that, then you can grab them, and then you can go one side, the other side, and sometimes that provides a little bit more stability on the wrist, because you are still using the base of the hand, not the fist and moving to the sides. So of course, if you want to make this even more challenging, then when you go one on one side, two on the other side, and the extra weight is going to kind of provide more weight. But even if it's not for weight purposes, even if it's for holding purposes, okay, maybe it helps if your wrists are not happy. I'm not saying to carry them, I'm just saying to hold them for holding purposes. Just depending, at the end of the day, there's only 3 options with the wrists. To have them in that position, you have them in this position with your fist, or to be holding something. That's why there are certain tools, certain toys, certain equipment that help you to do push-ups with handlebars in different kind of configurations. The configurations are good, but also the fact that you are off the ground by holding a bar, it helps some people's kind of wrists condition. So depending how your wrists are, just be very careful. The only danger of putting your fist is that you need to be really stable on your fist, because your fists are going to be a little bit more wobbly than your hands. So you need to be really confident that you are really bracing your wrist properly. Otherwise, your wrist can wobble, and if your wrist wobbles, it can hurt more. So if you are confident that your wrist is well placed, you can use your fist as a foundation. If you're having too much pain by arthritis or whatever is developing, or injuries like that, otherwise something that you can hold and like those could also. So you're not going to use them?
I'm just trying to.
Without it, then I'll use them. So it's because of no people. Just, boom, 1, 2. All right, and again, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It's always good to have a pair of those around, just to add a little bit more weight. Those are only 3 kilos, so they're normally very light. So, okay, so last one, okay, of our mobility exercise like this is going to be alligator walks. Okay, one hand, one leg, pushing down, up, the hand, the other leg, push down, up. Even if you do not, this is something that we always remind people in terms of physical education. Every single movement that we do has 3 phases. You know, a concentric phase, you know, the isometric phase, the holding, and the eccentric phase. Concentric, isometric, eccentric. So every movement, pull up, sit up, squats, everything. And all those phases are good. The problem that we have is that we always focus a lot in the concentric phase, in the pushing phase, or when we have to go up against gravity. But the other 2 phases, the eccentric, when you're going down, 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 or when you hold, isometric, are equally important. So on this exercise, okay, and this will, even holding isometric phase, holding isometric phase, holding.
Sorry, I don't have a phone number for Rodrigo. To who?
Sorry, Siri. So, anyway, so any of those phases are any of those phases are good. If you cannot do the concentric phase, which is when you pushing down, and the eccentric phase, and then the concentric, which is that part, then do a good isometric 3, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1, and then progressively find space within the other 2 phases, they're going down and they're going up. Okay, but even the isometric phase is a very important phase to do anyway. All right, so and alligators, one hand, one leg, 1, on the other side, 2, on the other side, 3, 5, 4, Very good. Just to finish, do alligator walks forward and backwards. Okay. Now do the same exercise but going backwards. Okay, so forward, forward, then backwards, backwards. Okay. You get the forward and I get the backwards. Okay. Normally it's easier to start with an alligator forward, Erika, and then push yourself. Yeah, now find your way back. So it's okay to start forward and backwards. Forward and backwards. Forward and backwards. So, Alright, so remember these set of movement exercises are quite favorable, you know, in a number of areas, because you typically have what is called isolated exercises, where you just isolate one part of the muscle, and then you have compound exercises where several muscle groups interact. In all exercises, in a way, several muscle groups are in play. Even the most commonly criticized isolated exercise, a bicep curl, where people say, well, you're just isolating the bicep. It has no real functional purpose, because unless you're a Kurt and you're showing off your biceps or going shopping, you know, there is no real purpose for doing bicep curls. It's kind of not necessarily true, because obviously for every contraction of the bicep, there's an extension of the tricep, and then for every extension of the tricep, of the bicep, there's a contraction of the tricep, and there's some work on the shoulders and even some of the pectorals. So even very isolated exercises do have multiple muscle groups interacting. There is not like a single muscle group that is, but yes, you isolate the bicep to a certain extent. As opposed to compound exercises, which is like all of this stuff, which is, you know, where several muscle groups do have to come into play in order to make the movement possible, right? My shoulder, my arm, my hip muscle, my core muscle, etc. You know, in a way they are more fun, and some people could classify them as more functional. Not so much because they will be a part in life or a moment where we will go. I don't know, we're break dancers. Yeah, we're break dancing, but because multiple muscle groups kind of interact in it, and that's kind of a little bit of the purpose of these set of exercises. And in a sense, it's a bit like, the reason why we use it is a bit like Aikido. Every movement that we have, every technique that we have is a compound exercise in a sense. It's several muscle groups working in order to make the movement or the technique possible, okay? So, during the week we did a lot of Ryotodori techniques. So, we are absorbing and EQ. Okay, so step back, absorb, and move forward into EQ. Okay, so we're saying a couple of things: stepping back and absorbing, sending the energy forward into EQ. Okay, so keep your hands at Jordan level. Okay, Jordan level. So bring your hand out, step back, absorb, and EQ. One more. For yoga, the entry will be the same, the exit will be different. So reach down, this time, exit outside, behind, as opposed to moving in. So absorb, and enter. In. Okay, so we practice together. Okay, and at home, you're going to be just grabbing a tanto. It's a good idea. So, grabbing a tanto is a good idea. I mean, even if people want to, sometimes it's a good idea to grab, any object really, because at the moment the tanto is just functioning as an object, to give certain idea. If you want to add a little bit of weight, if you have any equipment, is also fine as long as it is safe. Okay, where for example in this case, you have your equipment, you step back, control, and apply. In and down and up. There's a tiny little bit of weight being used in this case. Step back, absorb, and control and weight. Control. Step forward, down, and lower. It's not a terrible idea as long as you do it carefully and mindfully. The only thing that is happening, the only real difference between let's say this object, and that object is that this object has more weight than this object. So at the moment this is not a weapon technique in any form. It's just a technique where an object is giving us the advantage of its presence, so we can use it to focus on our grips and our holds. So it can be something as light as a tanto. So that you move your body as well as possible, or as I say, if you want to add a little bit more of weight with an object, then you can use an object. Just be very careful with it, okay, and hold it properly, because it is different to drop a tanto on your foot versus drop a weight on your foot. So you need to be very confident that whatever weight you're using, you are comfortable holding it. Because it's much more dangerous to drop a weight than to drop a tanto. It's not similar. Enter, control. In and down. Back, out, back, push, control. In, out, and okay. And you can begin your process. If you're wishing away, you can begin your process like that. And then eventually, when you finish your ikkyo, you grab one, grab the other, and lower both hands, just holding your feet. Right. So try this. Put down, careful to not drop it on your foot. Okay, and it will be on your back foot, left foot in front. Okay, left foot in front, step back, hands up. Secure. So control the weight both sides. Stepping in and down and up, holding the weight on both sides of the weight. Oh, there you go. Yeah, that's right. So after you finish your ikkyo movement, let's say here, you have one, you have two, down, touching. Okay, just careful with all the dropping. Okay. So, Karai. No, down. Move it up. Come on, and again. So, strap. Don't lose the advantage. Don't lose the advantage. Don't lose the advantage. There we go. Good, thank you. See how you work with the movement. Okay, got this. Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
How does that feel? Good way. So, bring it down. The other exercise is very similar. Beginning that we practiced was what it was that was a cocky hold, stepping back, absorb, right, stepping back, absorb, perfect. Stepping back, absorb, stepping back, absorb. Right. So, one step back, absorb, and project. Step back, absorb, and project. Again, at home, depending what you're using, okay, you can use your hands a lot. You need to use a little weight. You can therefore just drop again. Each, control the weight. So control the use of weight. So, because that way you have to be very disciplined with your movement of your spine. If you move the arm too much without moving the spine accordingly, and the weight departs from your body, for example, there is when your lower back starts to carry that weight because it's far from your body. It's not moving harmoniously with your body. So here the body is okay because it's above my head, and the more it departs from my body, the more tension there is on my lower back. So that's why we know this is not never a good idea unless my lower back is moving harmoniously with it. Okay, unless the weight is completely attached to my body, which is one thing, or unless my spine is moving with it. But if the spine is not moving with it, at one point, especially this point, it's going to feel the weight of the object, and that may not be good for your lower back. So if you work with very little objects, it's okay. And again, the difference between that one and this one is just that, this one has no weight almost. So, and with the other one, you're just adding weight. Okay, pick a weight. Which one? There you go. That one and the big one. You got the other one there. All right. So Kokyu Ho. That she was a Kokyu Ho. Okay. So step back, absorb, slide forward. Side. Step back, absorb, and side. Step back, absorb, forward. Back, absorb, forward. Back, absorb, back, absorb, forward. Back, absorb, back, absorb, forward. Back, absorb. Couple more. Back, absorb. One more. Last one. So remember the idea of using weights, has to fit two very important criteria. Your number one, that you are very comfortable carrying them, because especially if you're working like I'm working here now, barefoot on a mat, dropping a weight on the foot, even as little as 3 kilos, it creates a severe damage on your foot. So you need to be very comfortable that what you are grabbing is something that you can hold, and you're not going to drop it, on yourself by accident. So that's number one. So that's, as I say, the difference is different to drop a tanto, which weighs a few grams, than just dropping a 1 kilogram object. There are 1 or 2 or 3 kilogram objects, right? So that's super important. That's possibly the most important thing. Number two is that different from the way that these objects will normally be used, like to isolate and create weight and build muscle. What that needs to be in your mind is controlling the weight, not pushing the weight or building muscle with the weight. So it's just a matter of saying, is that amount of weight something that I can easily, comfortably control within the set of actions that I am performing, or is the weight too heavy that the weight is winning over me, right? So normally we don't feel that with a tanto because it's such a light object that technically it's very easy to control with the movement. But as soon as you put anything heavier than a tanto, then the weight can start winning over the movement, and then the wind is to start force to prevent the winning. So if it's too heavy, if the weight is winning over your movement, then discard that weight completely and either use something smaller or don't use anything at all, because the objective is not to fight the weight with the strength, it's just to use a weight that enhances the discipline of our movement. But if the weight is too much that you are fighting the weight and holding the weight, then you are doing something that is not appropriate for this training. When you do that in a gym and you isolate muscles and things like that, it's different. But in this case, that's not the purpose. It's just, can you bring a little bit of weight that you can still control within your movement. Anyway, so that's the only thing about objects that have heavier weight than our more familiar objects like our weapons, or if you do things completely without any objects holding, you still have to be disciplined with the way we move, because even no weight whatsoever, if we move wrongly our lower back with no weight, we can injure our lower back. So that's just the warning thing about, because you saw me today playing a little bit with weights. So number one, super safe that you are very comfortable with grabbing them, that you're not going to drop them by accident, you hold them properly. And number two, that the weight is not winning over you, that you have to fight the weight. There is a weight just enough to being disciplined with your movement as opposed to fighting the weight of the object. If those two things are in there, play a little bit with weights. Otherwise, just keep doing it properly without any weights. Okay. Hey! Hey! Thank you very much.